Hello, football fans. The Raiders are starting to put together the pieces of the puzzle for their coaching staff. One big piece that is now locked up, offensive coordinator. Kliff Kingsbury, who was a former NFL coach and has been a senior offensive coordinator and pass game coordinator at USC, has landed. Joining us now to discuss that is our Raiders beat writer, Vinnie Bonsignore. Vinnie, what can you tell us about Kliff Kingsbury and what he brings to the table?
Yeah, we'll get ready for some creative plays, creative offense, a lot of running of the ball, maybe a new quarterback, a lot of different layers to the hire of Kliff Kingsbury. And you look at what Antonio Pierce is doing with his staff, in addition to also bringing, we kind of knew that this was going to happen, but Marvin Lewis is being a carryover from last year's advisory role that he had. He's got an experienced staff that he's putting together. When you talk about Kliff Kingsbury, a former NFL head coach, a former college head coach, an extremely bright and innovative offensive coordinator that I think, Antonio Pierce can feel comfortable handing the offense over to Kliff, not just as an offensive guru, but somebody that's run his own team as well. And then you look at having Marvin Lewis, in the role that he's going to play, looks like it's going to be like an associate head coach, that type of a deal. And you've got a really experienced defensive coordinator in Patrick Graham. So really like that Antonio Pierce has the foresight to understand, look, I don't have all the answers. Nobody does. Certainly not me, being a first-time coach and surrounding himself with people that have done it before and that he can lean on.
There's a relationship with Kingsbury and Caleb Williams, the projected #1 draft pick. Is it too early to get excited that they'll move up in the draft to get him?
Yeah, and first pick could absolutely be up for sale. And if you're the Raiders, you're probably in as good a position as you've been in years to go ahead and give up what it takes to go to #1. Short of a Max Crosby or a Devontae Adams, but whatever amount of draft picks it's going to take, you're probably willing to do that. But also keep an eye on Jaden Daniels, the LSU quarterback who won the Heisman Trophy, a dual threat quarterback, can throw, can run, fits that style of offense. As well, it might not cost the Raiders as much to move into maybe #3, which is where he's sort of projected to go, and that would require working a deal with the New England Patriots, and we don't know what direction the Patriots are going to go in. Maybe they still like Mac Jones. Maybe they like somebody else that they feel like they could get a few slots or a little bit later on in the draft, but also collect a bunch of draft picks as well. So a lot of different directions that they can go, but certainly Caleb Williams is somebody that Kliff Kingsbury worked with at USC for a year. He also worked with Baker Mayfield back in the day. So, there's a lot of tenets to this hire, and you can probably look at some quarterbacks, whether they're in the league or in college football, that you can see as a fit in a Kliff Kingsbury offense.
You've been out there at the Senior Bowl in Alabama this week. You wrote about Champ Kelly's disappointment in not getting the full-time GM position, but he is out there scouting the talent for the Raiders. Has he indicated where he has put his focus this week when it comes to evaluating the talent?
I know that they're the Champ and the staff that the Raiders have brought with them here. They're looking at everybody, but I can't help but keep an eye on a guy like Michael Penix, who's really put on a show here, the Washington quarterback. Showing the thing with him is, where is his health? 2 serious knee injuries, a serious shoulder injury. A lot of that's going to be in terms of his draft status predicated on the medicals, but the guy can play. There's no question about that. So if everything checks off medically, here's a guy that I think can step in the NFL and probably start year one. Champ Kelly had a really kind of an emotional post that he posted on Facebook a couple of days ago, where he expressed disappointment in not getting the general manager job that went to Tom Telesco. Expressed his faith in his faith, and that's what he's going to lean on. But knowing Champ Kelly. He's a professional. He's a hard worker, and I think that he understands. Look, if this thing works with the Raiders, from top to bottom, and the Raiders put a great product out there next year, that's just only going to enhance his chances in the next hiring cycle to become a general manager. I think it's not a question of if, but when Champ Kelly becomes a general manager, and I know that. It feels like he knows what the right thing to do is just, put your nose down, get back to work, do the best job that you could possibly get, and set yourself up and set the Raiders up for success and yourself up for success.
Love the analysis there, as always, Vinny. I know it'll be a busy week here in Las Vegas, where both Vinny and I will be delivering as much coverage as possible from Super Bowl 58 as we can. Raiders, NFL, keep up with all of it right here on VegasNation.com.